Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video of the third episode of the one and only season of Automan called The Great Pretender. Last time we saw a Vegas mob boss create a complicated plan to frame a judge to get him removed from a critical mob case. We witnessed a kidnapping, a murder and a travesty against all of my senses. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'm going to be discussing what happened and my thoughts about the episode. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, swell. Look at the spot this guy picks to break down.
Not suspicious at all.
I better give him a hand.
Please, he broke down across the entire road, because that always happens, doesn't it? Well, they're not very clever thieves. You think they'd have had someone getting close to the cab, so when they shot they could go up and capture the driver. Kill the driver by the looks of it.
Somebody hijacked close to a ton of paper that the government uses to print money.
Otto, what do you think you're doing?
You think you'd at least be watching it at double speed.
Some of those old gangster films you have on tape. Thoroughly engrossing.
I asked you to file my tapes, not stand around here and waste time.
It wasn't recreational, Walter. I thought I might gain some insights in solving that hijacking case. But crime fighters have more sophisticated weapons now, too.
Like what?
Me?
Like me.
Told us who was behind that hijacking.
I did?
Yeah, you did. LaRue was a contender for the number 2 spot in the biggest mob in the state. His rival was a guy by the name of Brock, Rudy Brock. When LaRue wound up murdered, execution style, there wasn't much doubt that Brock gave the orders, but we couldn't prove it.
You wouldn't by any chance want some help out there?
Wally, you want to help. You just stay here and continue to play this keyboard like Van Cliburn, all right?
Everyone treats him like a little kid. Oh, if you want to help, you stay here and play with your toys.
I want roses. Yellow. Long stem. Thank you.
Oh, he was in Automan. Yeah, he's in Automan. Street Talk. He's in the episode with the ultralights.
All that money still has to be printed.
Press starts rolling tonight. By Sunday, Laszlo figures on having 20 million, maybe more.
Yeah, well, you tell him not to rush.
That'd be
We're
nice.
not unloading rubbish here.
And you don't want to dump it too quick either onto the market. That probably wouldn't be a good idea.
We'll go undercover, make ourselves conspicuous in the right circles, and Brock will come to us. I'll call myself Mr. Otto. Cursor?
Marlon Brando, I could always give you Humphrey Bogart.
Oh dear. There is definitely a certain level of cringe to these episodes, more so than any of the other shows I've watched on the same time. And he really needs to learn to wear a flipping seatbelt in that car.
I got $10 a ball against 1,000 that says you find Zach before I miss a shot.
So is that fake sort of digital money?
Let me see if I got this straight. If you miss a shot before Zach comes in here and sees you, I get $1,000.
Correct. But unless I miss a shot, you owe me $10 for every ball.
What are you doing?
Relax, Walter. I saw Paul Newman do this in The Hustler.
That's the thing I really... I'm actually going to pause a second. That kind of annoys me a bit. So, from the very first episode, Walter said that he'd fed in works of literature such as Sherlock Holmes, James Bond, into Automan's programming. And he said that should make him the greatest crime solver. But it doesn't. And he said there that he's watched Paul Newman play. Well, great. That doesn't mean he's the best player. he's a computer from that time, and I'm trying to think in the way that I think that they would be thinking. Basically, all that information is just that. It's information on what happened. It doesn't mean he can extrapolate other things. It's just a database. He can just do those things. So yeah, he could probably repeat the Sherlock Holmes stories, and he could recreate the Sherlock Holmes story that he's had fed into him. But it doesn't mean he can go out and solve lots of crimes and use that ability, that knowledge, unless it's very specific to what he read in that story. So, although with Poole, it's a lot of it is pretty much trigonometry, angles. So he actually, as a computer, I actually do believe he could do Poole. Nothing to do with the film he watched, but from a purely logical, rule-based way of doing things, I think he probably could play Poole. But obviously, there's things like the flatness of the table. Are there any bumps on the table? Which there always are going to be. So in a perfect world, yes, I think he could be brilliant at Poole, but all that other stuff that could influence things, he's got no way of taking that into account, and that would bring him down. So, yeah, sorry, it's a little rant. Just that annoys me a bit, because it's just, he's got knowledge, but I don't think he's got a way of applying that knowledge. Let's carry on. I mean, if he had all the knowledge about Poole and how, and sort of data on how to do trick shots and angles, yeah, he could probably do all that. Again, as a walking computer, you know exactly where to hit the ball and power, the distance and everything, and angles. There are still external factors that can influence it. That's a nice shot.
That's $970. Exactly how much money do you have?
So that's 97
Can't
shots
keep
in
this
a row.
up forever. You want to talk to me?
If you're the man who turns exotic cars into cold cash.
How long does it take Brock to fill your orders?
Well, that depends on the car.
What if I were to promise you any car you order in under 10 minutes, day or night?
It won't be a real car. It'll be a recreation.
Name your car.
All right. How about a 1936 Duesenberg convertible?
What color would you like?
Two-tone, red and maroon.
I'm assuming that's the hardest car probably to find, and then to ask for it, what colour do you want it? Yeah. So they're going to give him the car, and then the car will just disappear at daylight.
You did it. Oh, when do we start doing business, Mr.
Mr. Otto, what don't I know?
How dangerous these people really are, for starters.
Yeah, and I'm going to pause again. Walter was in there, and he seemed really fine with everything, and he was talking to like a pretty big criminal. And normally he's a timid little thing. It seems very unbelievable that he would be able to go undercover like that and be the way he was. Now, granted, he might get a confidence boost because he's with Automan, and he thinks if any trouble happens, he's going to save him. But all it takes is a power cut in the area, and let's face it, that can happen. Or a power dip of some kind. And he's on his own. Yeah.
According to Lieutenant Curtis, it's one of the most profitable gambling casinos this side of Las Vegas. Brock's its sole owner.
Cursor?
But of course, any money he leaves there, at the very latest, at daylight, that money's just going to disappear.
Winner is 16.
That was so blatantly obvious that there was something going on then. They'd be taken out and shot.
16 again, the winner. Red evens.
I can't even think how Cursor could be influencing that. He seems to be physically moving the ball from underneath. But the ball's not metal or anything. He can't be putting any kind of influence on it. God, the management will be all over that table if he keeps winning like that. Which I assume is the point.
The winner's 16 again.
Is he put on 16 red every time?
The only reason I came here tonight was to warn you. As of tomorrow, I move my base of operations to L.A. I take what I want.
I said get him a cab. Cash in their chips.
They'd have got some
We don't want to keep the
goons.
gentleman waiting.
Dragged him outside for that. Unless the cab driver's one of them.
Right here will be fine, cabbie.
You got it, pal.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Stay put, I have to get some change.
Uh-oh, Walter. Quickly, out!
He's got to enter into Automan. Merge.
No time. Merge. Merge!
That must be a weird experience to be able to see the explosion like from within and not be affected.
You saved my life.
Yes, but look at my new suit.
That shouldn't be affected because it's a digital recreation.
You certainly got their attention.
This Mr. Otto and his friends shut the place down. Well, apparently, whatever this Mr. Otto did at the roulette wheel, the thing didn't quit paying off. It kept on winning.
Yeah, but that wheel is rigged, Kevin.
Not last night, it wasn't.
So the table was rigged. So Cursor was playing with the rigged machinery.
When I was first told your payments hadn't been made, I thought there was some mistake. Seems I was wrong. I simply will not tolerate an interruption in our arrangements. I want my money. I've got till Sunday.
I just don't know about that outfit. It's a little behind the times.
I made my home base, Australia.
True.
That's a bit of insulting to Australia.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry to any Australians
what
watching.
do you guys want to talk about?
Oh, then he does a sharp turn. Whereas in the other episode, he was flying around like a normal helicopter.
Who are you?
You won't know me long enough for it to matter.
Why isn't he merging? Surely he should have jumped into, well, merged together quickly. Those were real notes. You could see they were stuck onto the paper.
I understand you've gone into the, how shall I put it, into the publishing business?
And you're interested in what we're printing?
Particularly the latest edition. I understand the paper quality is superb.
I like the analogies.
What's he paying you? 10 cents on the dollar? 20?
More.
I'll give you 50.
Well, I don't get it. Brock works for you, doesn't he?
No, it doesn't mean I respect him or even like him.
Why'd you have him as your number 2 then?
Brock killed a man in cold blood. Man I thought very highly of. Someone who should be where Brock is now.
Well, if I might pose an obvious question, why do you put up with a man you hold in such contempt?
Expedience, I need him. There hasn't been anyone strong enough to give Brock a run for his money, let alone take his
Yeah,
place.
he could bump you off fairly
That
easily.
is, until now. But only one of you is going to come out a winner. If it's you. And as far as I'm concerned, you can take over for Brock tomorrow, lock, stock, and barrel.
A couple of days ago, he was just in a police office, and now he's been offered second in command of a mob syndicate. How is he out in daytime? I thought that was one of the big drawbacks. Once it's light, the power drain's too great, and he disappears. Have they basically realised that that was a huge problem for their plots and stories, and they've just ignored it?
Of course, it takes real money to buy counterfeits.
He's been doing this all the time. What about his day job? I know they got contempt for him at the police station, but they surely noticed he's not there.
The old tables just took another spin.
No heroics on him. Well, your friend pays for it with his life.
How do they know he's a friend?
What makes you think I even know this man?
We put a tail on your errand boy, Nebish. Turns out he works for the lieutenant here.
And that's why he's a rubbish undercover operative, because he wasn't undercover. He was doing a day job and that.
Stop!
Why did he stop? Guns can't hurt him. That was a hell of a stunt.
You win, all right? Look, I'm through with Brock. From now on, I work for you.
It's good to see loyalty still exists in the mob, isn't it? So is the wedding going to actually happen, or something going to happen to disrupt it? I hope for her sake something disrupts it.
To be your lawful wedded wife.
Sorry. Business.
What the hell are you doing here?
I didn't know what else to do. The cops are after me. I brought the money here.
Tell them to get the copter started.
Take this woman, Lauren Robinson, to be your lawful wedded wife.
No.
No!
I mean, not right now. I'll explain it all to you later.
I'm really sorry for her, but it was the right thing. Little wedding gift for the attendees. I'd have been putting the other money on, not the fake money. You can only put limited amount of money into the helicopter. At least put what you think is the real money in there first, at least. God.
You gotta stop him, Otto!
That's a dangerous stunt. That wasn't a very big pool.
Come on, darling.
You take a bit of cake with you. Congratulations, you're second in command of a mob.
Somebody in that mob wanted Brock as bad as we do. There's enough information on that anonymously donated file to put him away twice.
So, I can't remember her name. The woman in the police station there, she knows about Automan. She's seen him generate. She knows a few things he can do. And she obviously was then covering for Walter. I thought Jack knew about him as well. I thought he'd seen him use his powers. He's seen him in at least... Well, this is the third episode. He saw him in the first episode, and I think he saw him use his powers in the first episode. Did he see him last time? He said he met him last time, but I don't think he saw him use any of his abilities. But he still met him. That's 3 times he's met him now, and he doesn't seem to remember him. That seems a bit odd. I thought he knew exactly who he was and what he could do. It was an alright episode. It doesn't quite make sense that they could do all of that in such a short amount of time, although, does it? Maybe that was the best way of doing it, doing all of that in a short amount of time. If you've got all the money, fake money, I suppose maybe you can do anything. And the pressure was on that it had to all be done in a condensed amount of time, because the pressure was on that guy, the second in command, to raise the cash in time for Sunday. So I don't know, maybe it does kind of make a bit of sense. Yeah, there's a lot of... and the power thing. They made such a big thing that at daylight, pretty much at daylight, 'cause that's when everyone's waking up and turning things on, Automan disappears because there's not enough power around him to generate and keep his form. Doesn't seem to be an issue now. Wasn't even mentioned. And like I said in the episode, I might cut it, but I think they've just basically ignored it because I think they realised it was restricting them to storylines and to plots. It meant they could only do stuff at night time with Automan, which obviously caused them issues. Whereas having him available all the time, makes it easier to write the stories. Unless maybe next week or the week after they'll bring that back. It might just be a convenient plot thread that they bring back when they need it. If they need Automan to disappear during the daytime, we shall see. There's a stunt at the end, dropping that guy into the pool. it's not like it was even a straight drop because he was hanging from his legs. So there's going to be movement, and the helicopter downforce would be creating, that would create different movement as well. So yes, he was over the pool, but it wasn't a very big pool. He could easily have, swung off target and bashed his head on the concrete. It was, that was definitely on the cards. So blimey. Yeah. So let me know what you thought about this episode. It's definitely the cheesiest of the shows from that time period that I've watched so far. Which isn't necessarily a good thing, but we'll keep going. So yeah, let me know what you thought, and I shall see you for the next episode. Be seeing you.